Welcome to Dark Character Profiler. Take a deep dive into the background and personalities of villains from books, video games, manga, and comics. Psychological analysis of some of the most deviant and heinous characters of all time. Now, here's Fulcrum.
Hello and welcome. I'm Fulcrum. Before we get started, I wanted to plug my dad, Rich, who helped produce my show's intro and outro. If you're into actual musicians playing actual music on actual instruments, please check out the Never Ending Radio Show at neverendingradioshow.com. Timeless music, timeless principles, neverendingradioshow.com. Now, on to the episode. One of your Dalmatians just delivered 99 puppies, and now you have 101 Dalmatians to take care of. A woman you grew up with comes to your home and offers to buy them from you. You refuse her on several occasions. To your horror, you come home from being out one day to find all of the puppies missing and only their parents are left in the home. You suspect only one person could have pulled off a stunt like this: Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil is one of the more notorious villains from everyone's childhood. She was first introduced to us in the 1956 novel The 101 Dalmatians by Dorothy Gladys Smith, also known as Dodie Smith. Her physical description is she's extravagantly dressed in furs and jewels, though her furs are found to be fake, and she has black and white hair. She is depicted as a pampered and glamorous London heiress. She has a husband who is a furrier, and he keeps furs in the home ready for Cruella to wear. Her favorite is a white mink coat that she is always wearing. She describes herself as the last surviving member of the de Vil family. When she got married, she did not change her name as a result, and actually made her husband change his name to de Vil instead. She is described as a tyrannical figure in their marriage. Her husband is meek and subservient. She always appears wealthy, but is actually in debt, and not much else is known about her backstory, as Dodie did not go into more detail revolving around her backstory. That was just a little bit of a character history that I wanted to give to you all before moving on to Cruella's personality, her psychological analysis, as well as some interesting facts that I discovered when researching her. Before we delve into the psychological analysis, I want to provide you with a disclaimer. While I am not a licensed psychologist, I do have a Master of Science degree in forensic psychology. This allows me to offer a unique perspective on potential disorders based on the characteristics and descriptions of these fictional characters. Please remember, this is not an official diagnosis, but rather an interpretation of characteristics. All analyses were researched using the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. This disclaimer ensures we approach these discussions with the utmost respect and sensitivity towards mental health issues. Cruella de Vil's personality is described as rude, adores attention, looks down on others, greedy, selfish, short-tempered, reckless, acts on impulse, obnoxious, detestable, prejudicial, arrogant, self-centered, abusive, cruel, ruthless, manipulative, and cunning. At the end of the last episode, I posted a poll for everyone to try to guess what the final outcome would be for Cruella's psychological analysis. It turns out 100% of you said that her analysis would come out to be narcissistic personality disorder. The thing is, though, you guys were only half right. Her final analysis came out to not just include narcissistic personality disorder, but also another one as well. Can any of you guess which other one she might have had as well? I will post another poll at the end of this episode to see if you guessed it right. I want to start with narcissistic personality disorder since everyone who took the poll said that she would have narcissistic personality disorder as her final psychological analysis. So I'm going to go ahead and read the diagnostic criteria. Narcissistic personality disorder is characterized by a pervasive pattern of grandiosity in fantasy or behavior, need for admiration, and lack of empathy, beginning by early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts as indicated by 5 or more of the following. 1. Has a grandiose sense of self-importance. For example, exaggerates achievements and talents, expects to be recognized as superior without commensurate achievements. So for number 1, that's evidenced by her being a London heiress. She absolutely adores attention. She's very selfish and she often looks down on others. The second criteria is preoccupation with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. And that is evidenced in Cruella by her identifying as the last surviving member of the De Vil family. She actually made her husband adopt the De Vil name when they got married. She is also depicted as a pampered and glamorous heiress. She's extravagantly dressed in furs and jewels, even though her jewels are found out to have been fake. Number 3, believes that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other special or high status people or institutions. So this is evidenced by identifying as the last surviving member of the De Vil family and being a London heiress. She feels special because of the fact that she is the last surviving member of her family. Number 4 requires excessive admiration. She absolutely adores having attention from others. Number 5 has a sense of entitlement, for example, unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment or automatic compliance with his or her expectations. So this is evidenced by, again, her being the last surviving member of the De Vil family, her being considered a London heiress, and her husband adopting her last name when they get married. Number 6 is interpersonally exploitative. For example, takes advantage of others to achieve his or her own ends. I had a difficult time finding an example of this, so I chose not to make this one a qualifying criteria. Number 7 is lacks empathy or is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. So this is evidenced by when the puppies are born, she sees that the puppies don't have any spots on their fur, and she offers to have the puppies killed immediately as a result. And then she eventually steals the puppies for her own desires once she finds out that they actually do have spots. Number 8 is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of him or her. Again, I couldn't find a specific example of this that shows that, she thinks others should be envious of her, because she's not going to be envious of other people. Maybe it could be that she is envious of the fact that the Dearleys have Dalmatian puppies that she wants, but other than that, I don't know if that one would qualify. And last is 9, which shows arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. So this is evidenced by some of her personality traits, such as being arrogant and self-centered, and she likes to show off her quote-unquote wealth. So her jewels are known to be fake, and she is actually in debt, but she still tries to put off this air of, being wealthy and being an heiress. And she's also obnoxious. These are all of the criteria that I think qualifies Cruella to have a final analysis of narcissistic personality disorder. So I told you all that there was not just one psychological analysis, but in fact there were 2. Please don't forget to leave a comment or answer the poll yes or no on if you guessed what the second one is correctly. The second one is actually antisocial personality disorder. So let me go ahead and read you the criteria for antisocial personality disorder. It is classified with a pervasive pattern of disregard for and violation of the rights of others occurring since age 15 as indicated by 3 or more of the following. 1. Failure to conform to social norms with respect to lawful behavior as indicated by repeatedly performing acts that are grounds for arrest. So this one is evidenced by Cruella hiring 2 thieves to steal the puppies. And once she has them in her hands, she exclaims in the book, "Poison them, drown them, hit them on the head. Have you any chloroform in the larder?" She also has committed mass animal cruelty, attempted mass canicide, which is killing dogs, kidnapping, theft, and attempted mass mutilation, which would be killing and skinning of animals for the purposes of creating fur coats out of their fur. 2. Deceitfulness, as indicated by repeated lying, use of aliases, or conning others for personal profit or pleasure. This one is evidenced by Cruella keeping the nanny of the Dearly house talking while the hired thieves steal the puppies for her. And she also has some aliases, including Devil Woman. 3. Impulsivity or failure to plan ahead. This is evidenced by hiring 2 thieves to steal the puppies to make furs to wear. This isn't a good plan. It doesn't turn out well for her. It actually, once the puppies are found to be missing, there are posters everywhere looking for them. She clearly hasn't thought out the plan extensively. Number 4 is irritability and aggressiveness as indicated by repeated physical fights or assaults. There was no evidence of irritability or aggressiveness that I could find that were associated with physical fights or assault, so that one was not a qualifying factor here. Number 5 is reckless disregard for safety of self or others. And this is evidenced by Cruella stealing the puppies from the Dearleys for her own selfish desires. And it doesn't matter what she has to do, she will do whatever it takes to get the puppies, such as putting herself or others in harm's way. Number 6 is a consistent irresponsibility as indicated by repeated failure to sustain consistent work behavior or honor financial obligations. So at first, I wasn't able to find something to show that this one would be a qualifying factor, but then I remembered that Cruella is heavily in debt, so that makes her financially irresponsible and thus making number 6 a qualifier. And last is number 7, which is a lack of remorse as indicated by being indifferent to or rationalizing having hurt, mistreated, or stolen from others. And this is evidenced by Cruella stealing the puppies and attempting to make them into wearable fur coats. And her justification for this was that they would make the perfect fur coat. So these are all of the qualifying factors that I believe make antisocial personality disorder a good fit for another psychological analysis for Cruella. Before we wrap things up, I wanted to share with you some interesting facts that I found during my research for Cruella de Vil as a villain. So the first one that I found was that her name is actually a pun of the words cruel and devil. Obviously, that's kind of obvious, I guess you could say, for a lack of a better word. The house that she lives in is actually named by her and her family, the Hell Hall. Her name has been brought up in several TV shows and movies, including Hey Arnold, Trading Mom, and the remake of The Parent Trap. She also makes several parody appearances in TV shows and movies, including The Simpsons, Dexter's Lab, Rugrats in Paris, Robot Chicken, and many more. And that is all I have about Cruella de Vil. So I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you for listening, and until next time. Your feedback is crucial. Do you agree or disagree with this analysis? Your comments on this episode or in the comments section for the Instagram or X profiles for the podcast are highly valued. Also, please like this episode and share it with your friends and family. The show's email address and social media links are provided in the episode description. All resources are also provided in the episode description. Don't forget to take a look at the poll at the end of this episode where you can vote on what you think the final breakdown will be for the next episode's villain. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you for listening to Dark Character Profiler with Fulcrum. Listen every other Tuesday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Podcasts.